Hello guys, this is Cursyboo. I'm here with some really old footage. As you can see, summer 2011. Finishing up a 3-heart run in Wind Waker that I did for fun way back then. Now, I haven't looked at this footage since I recorded it pretty much. But I thought that after completing the Golden Triangle, I thought I might as well try to commentate this and get it up for you guys to see. Because I think it's decently interesting footage, especially at the end. Stay tuned. So yeah, it's a 3-heart run, Wind Waker, obviously. At this point, I hadn't died at all. It's actually a pretty easy game. All of those who've played it. It's pretty easy. I hadn't died at all. I wouldn't say that I was like, using fairies a whole lot or anything. I'm pretty sure I did every once in a while. But it really is a pretty easy game. Either way. I think at this point I decided to warp like one tile just to speed up. I suppose I could have done it before. I don't know why I didn't think of it. Of course, Wind Waker's awesome music. So, hopefully, spoilers for anyone who hasn't played this game, obviously. I definitely would recommend it. Get into the story. After completing the Triforce, assembling the pieces found across the Great Sea, returning to the Tower of the Gods, go back down. Wins. Perhaps not the most epic compared to, say, Hero of Time, but take what you can get. Going back through the old Hyrule Castle at the bottom of the sea. I don't remember there being anything new here that you find. Just all broken down. Though there is the barrier we need to break down. Now that we have completed Master Sword and stuff. Just need to go down here first. Yeah, it's trying to get through that little hole. There's Zelda. Let's meet up with Zelda and go face Ganon. Uh-oh. That's not good. Yeah, maybe just leaving the door open for like hours on end wasn't a good idea. Keep Ganon out. Link sort of has that problem of unsealing the Sacred Realm or Hyrule Castle down here, and then just sort of leaving it open for Ganon to get in there. I have played other Zelda games on my channel, and in general, I have played, pretty much every single, major Zelda game. I haven't beaten the 2 NES games, but I've played and beaten and own all the rest. Pretty big Zelda fan. So something like this was a welcome challenge, although perhaps a little too easy. One thing I have, for the 3DS, I got the Link's Awakening from the eShop, and unfortunately realized that you can't do a 3-heart run in Link's Awakening. They force you to get the heart containers at the end of bosses, which is pretty sad for me. But I hear that Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Season are going to be coming to the eShop pretty soon, so I'm really excited for that. Back to the game, though. Just taking a look at the castle, I guess. Break down the barrier. And if you've never played around with cheat codes or glitches, this barrier is pretty much insurmountable. But the Master Sword is a little more powerful than cheat codes. Given that you don't, cheat the Master Sword into your inventory or whatever. So, while we travel through the nice little fields of Hyrule, ancient Hyrule, I guess I could tell you guys a little bit about myself, since I haven't really done this kind of commentary before. Not too in-depth, I mean, this is more focused on the game, but, I'm currently in college, doing computer science, which has kept me pretty busy, which is why I don't really post very much anymore. When I started my channel, I was in high school when I had a lot more free time to make videos. So, you can go back and watch them. You may want to ignore the music. I was kind of not very knowledgeable about making good music for background in the Let's Plays. But, maybe if you play your own music in the background or something, they do have really nice remixes of Oracle of Ages and Seasons music. But you can watch those 2 Let's Plays that I did. In terms of, the video and the commentary, I think it's pretty good and pretty well received. Another well-received Let's Play of mine is my Bionicle Chronicles. It's pretty much the most popular series that I've put out. It still consistently gets decent views for my level of YouTube channel. Not sure exactly where they came from. Maybe you guys could illuminate that in the comments or whatever. But definitely glad that people have enjoyed it. You know, I'm not putting in 8 hours a day or anything, but it does take effort. But it is fun to me. For all of those who might be wishing I did do Let's Plays more, I would encourage you to check out the people that I'm subscribed to. I know a lot of them are Minecraft, which is another game that I enjoy. Haven't been playing much, aside from updating my double door mod, which you may know about. I've posted some videos of that. But there's a lot of Minecraft Let's Players that I'm subscribed to. There's also, you know, and they do other Let's Plays as well. If you didn't know, and you know, there's other people that are there too. I would suggest checking all of them out if you don't have anything else to watch. So here in the game, we made it to Ganon's Tower. This area is an interesting area. If you've ever seen anything about Wind Waker speedruns, there's a particular glitch that you do in this area to skip all of these bosses by sort of clipping through the wall. That MC Gamer in particular, one of the Let's Players I was describing before, he has a lot of fun with that glitch. It's fun to watch. But this is a normal run. I'm not trying to speed through with glitches. I'm going through. So this first area is inspired by Dragon Roost Island. Not Dragon. Inspired by Dragon Roost Island. Trying to get all those bubbles over there. Finally reaching them. I don't think this was 100% run, but I think you do see that I have max quiver capacity. As well as, I think, the double magic meter. Since this is a 3-heart run, I was trying to be kind of careful, I think. Oh, that was really close. But I think I make it through here just fine. Bouncing off the wall, though. I don't know how many of you guys were around back when Wind Waker first came out. Lots of people were complaining about the graphics. I never bought into that. I think it's a really nice game. I think the art style makes it better as a game. I think it's very charming. Oh, what's this? Back in the past. Everything's black and white in the past, of course. So, if I didn't already spoil it before, the gimmick of Ganon's Tower here is you're refighting the bosses of the original dungeons. Of course, as I said before, Wind Waker's pretty easy, and they didn't make the bosses any harder. If I wasn't doing a 3-heart run, it'd be basically finding the same bosses except with a lot more health and items and stuff. Although they do take away the items that you wouldn't have, but you still would keep all of your hearts and magic. As you can see, my Y and X buttons are unequipped, but I still have the hook shot because that's what you have at that point in the game. think it's an interesting thing that they decided to do with the black and white for everything, except for Link. I mean, you know, having to refight bosses at the end of a game is not a new thing at all. Mega Man, for example. The very first Mega Man on the NES had a boss rush at the end. I think most of the Mega Mans do. But, you know. It's interesting that they did that. So, after defeating one of the bosses, you go back to the center of the tower, at least this level of the tower. And that boss is insignia on the door, lights up. And then you go to the next one. So then this is the Forest Haven level, the Forbidden Woods dungeon in particular. It would have been interesting if they also made the these parts of the levels black and white and taken away your items too. Though I don't know. Designers designed it the way they wanted to. So, while Link traverses this room and has to deal with the sometimes annoying physics of the wind puzzles, can maybe talk about some of the games that I've played. Told you I replayed Link's Awakening on my 3DS. I've also been playing Pokemon Black. Gotten to the Victory Road, and soon get through that. Another really good game I played on 3DS was Tales of the Abyss. It's an RPG with a really great story and a pretty fun, like, real-time battle system. I definitely recommend that game if you haven't played it. It's apparently a port from a PS2 version, but I would definitely recommend that. So here we are facing this boss, again in black and white, with only the boomerang, and only 3 hearts. Having some trouble with the boomerang apparently. He's hanging by a single thing. Totally how physics works. Oh yeah, single cycle. I'm no speedrunner, but I think that went pretty well. At that point, that part. Also, get hyped for something that I recorded yesterday. Was some Sonic Adventure DX. I was thinking of, well, I played through all the stories in that game, and I'm thinking of doing a, like, parallel story let's play kind of thing. It has been done before, but not in the same way that I'm planning. But it's going to be kind of complicated. I wouldn't expect it too soon, but hopefully I can get that working. I think it could end up pretty neat. So here in the I don't remember if this is Earth or Wind. I think this is the Earth Temple. Trying to figure out how to beat the Redeads. Sword is really the best way to go. But yeah, so Sonic Adventure DX and the second one were both games from my childhood that I really enjoyed. Probably some of you as well. I don't know if I'm gonna do Battle 2, but I would be up for that. I'm also sort of curious. I know I made a little video a while ago asking about people's opinions on voice versus text Let's Plays. A lot of people did enjoy the text-based versions. And, you know, I can understand that. I wouldn't necessarily say my voice is it's not a silky smooth or, you know, funny foreign accent or something. But, you know, one advantage about voices as opposed to a text Let's Play is that when you have to do it and when you have to commentate, when you have to do the subtitles, you have to watch through the video a second time, go through it takes a lot of time. And also having some troubles finding a good video editor that supported doing subtitles in an easy way. So I originally used Windows Movie Maker, yes, which isn't exactly the best, but it had a nice subtitle format, which I use in pretty much all of my videos with subtitle commentary. But then they got like the new live Windows Movie Maker, which is, you know, pretty much they just got rid of all the features that were good and made the UI annoying to work with. So I'm currently trying out OpenShot, which is a like free open source video maker, which is actually integrated with some vector graphics software that you can use to make text commentary. So I might try that out sometime soon. It has a lot of neat features and stuff. I'm going to be using that software to do this video. So, speaking of the video, I'm the third level of the hallway. Past all of these coffins. Doing some snaking around. Get past them quickly. Yeah, if you couldn't tell. To go through. Put these guys on the buttons. It's not really timed, but I think those guys get out of their stone form if you wait too long. Yeah, and then there's this guy who's totally blocking my way. Yeah, not really. So moving on, get to the third boss to be faced. That's an alright boss. It's also, again, not very difficult or anything. Although, of course, I'm not the only one who's done the arcane spin attack on this guy. I'm sure. Pretty much the funnest way to fight this boss. Spin attack again. Can I get him in time? Oh, just Let's see, what else? Something else I've been playing is, you may be aware that it's, Kirby. Kirby's anniversary, the 20th anniversary, was this year, I think, maybe last year. But Nintendo came out with the Kirby Dream Collection Special Edition, which has a bunch of Kirby's older games included in it, which is really cool because I'm a big fan of Kirby. My username is partially inspired by Kirby. But I never really had many of the games, except like the Game Boy games. So I've been playing through some of that, and it's pretty cool. I haven't recorded any of them. I don't know if I will. But if you like Kirby games and you don't actually own many of them, I would recommend that as well. It does have some new content of its own, based on the Wii Kirby game, the Return to Dreamland game. It has some new content based on that, which is also another game that I've played, but haven't gotten around to beating yet, since I'm wanting to do a multiplayer. So obviously that, limits me. So here I am in the Wind Temple, I think. Or maybe it's the Earth Temple. I really don't remember. I can never get that right. It's never made sense to me how they name this. It's like, is it Medley at the Wind Temple or the Earth Temple? Or is it like... because they can both fly. Medley and Macker can both fly. It's like, is it Medley in the Earth Temple because it's in, like, the volcano? Or is it Maker because he's a plant, the plants are in the ground? I could never get that. So it's the temple with the grass, where you get the egg shot. So this is me trying to figure out how to get through here. There's those fans pointing downwards. Just squeeze through, I suppose. Oh, but then... Oh, how to get out there? Again, I haven't watched these in a while. Oh, there we go. Some bookshop ones. Oh, look at that! If you look at the door, it sort of fades to black and white before the door. I didn't notice that before. So, this is the boss with the best music in the game. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Although this is a remix version of the original music from the original boss. But I've always loved this music. The original music. Also, kind of the creepiest boss. This wiggly tongue and all those little things. I've always enjoyed this boss and this music. Having some trouble locking onto things though. I don't know. There's the, ever since Ocarina of Time, I suppose, there's been the two lock-on schemes. It's like switch versus hold. You can always do hold. But these are the sort of situations where switch might actually be, more beneficial. I've always used hold. I think most people do, but I don't really know. These most videos and stuff that I've seen. Oh no. All good. Yeah, Wind Waker's not all that difficult. I mean, I think I took some damage on the first guy, and the second guy from their, like, side attacks or something. Like, you only lose, like, half a heart, or a quarter of a heart. No, there are, there's the, challenge, pit, whatever it was called. There's, 50 levels of enemy rooms. And there's RPs at the bottom, I've done it before. I mean, that even isn't too hard. I know there's a version of that in Twilight Princess as well, that I think is supposed to be a lot more difficult. I've seen some people struggle with that. Still trying to beat this boss though. These guys keep getting in the way. Uh-oh. I did get hit there. Oh wow, that apparently took off like 2 hearts. But I already got one back. Probably a second here. This guy. Yep. And that's that. The last of the 4 will open the door to the next floor, and I'm not gonna run anymore. Don't. So, what could possibly be next? After a boss rush, we have an incredibly large staircase. And these annoying guys. Oh. They just appear out of nowhere. And they make that high-pitched noise. Oh, this place. Yeah. So I decided to save here, I guess. Just in case. So this is a puzzle. And I think I didn't remember exactly how to beat it. I know you have to hit these in order. Oh, we got a message. Yeah. It seems like they make it really obvious what you do and don't need to do. But then that leaves it's not clear. It's like it's overly It's so clear that it's not clear, I guess. So that's a hint about a further puzzle that'll be coming up soon. Yeah. So then there's this room on the opposite side of the wall. So yeah, you can see they just like, here, look, this is what you need to do. We don't think you have any sort of short-term memory. Of course, you need to navigate your cursor so you don't accidentally hit the wrong thing. And of course, all this is a shortcut. It's not even, doesn't even let you progress through the game, I think. Yeah. So all this basically is just a shortcut back to the surface. It doesn't actually help you progress through the tower. Which is what confused me, I think. I think I was confused because I didn't know what to do at that point. Because you need to get through this door, I think, but... You know, okay, you do the boomerang trick there, but then what? You can go back, for whatever reason, to the staircase with all these guys. Kill them all in one hit. Get some magic, but I was confused at what to do. Because, I mean, not only have I not watched the video in a while, but even when I recorded it, I hadn't played in a while, or watched videos about it, so I wasn't sure what to do. It's like, how to get through the door? There's nothing to do. There's no buttons or switches or hookshot points or boomerang crystals anywhere. And the symbol on the ground doesn't do anything. I mean, really though, I'm not sure how you're supposed to figure this out. You can see how it's sort of clueless. Just play random songs. There's no wind in Ganon's tower. It's like, what are you supposed to do? You see and you notice Link sort of looking down, but you're supposed to jump down here. I don't think there's any sort of hint at that. Except for maybe Link doing it. And suddenly, Phantom Ganon battle. So yeah, so the trick here is you need to follow the sword. Follow the way the hilt goes. It's a couple, 10-second battles. Brought me down to 1 heart though. After having played for so long, it would be kind of embarrassing to die at Phantom Ganon. I mean, really. And there's no... I don't know if there are any like perks or anything that you can get in these rooms either. I don't see pots on the edges. Oh. But then I did have a fairy. So like I said, I did use fairies in that case, but I mean you only get so many bottles. So, I don't know if that counts as not being a pure 3-heart run or something, but I mean, this. That's just your own opinion. So I think this is also something that I didn't remember how to do. Defeat. I know how to do this. Anybody should know how to do this. Since I'll run out of time. And go through the next door. Let's do this attack again. Just sort of avoiding it. I think there's something you can do to, like, absorb it or something. I don't remember if I try that. I do try to parry there, though it doesn't do me much good. Except to dodge. It was pretty fast. Let's see. Just gets like room after room. It's like, when does it end? I did try to deflect at that time. I didn't succeed. So I try. But no, we're both incapacitated. So yeah. So I probably would not recommend the Hurricane Spin attack. But I don't know. I guess it worked. This room is different though. Yeah, it's kind of sad just sitting there next to him like that. And this is when you need to actually get this. Get the prize. Beating Phantom Ganon. Now I can finally get some health. Fight Phantom Ganon back in the original room. Oh, why'd you do that? That's unfair. Understand how the ping pong energy ball thing is supposed to work. Oh. It's another one of the fairies. Oh, I succeeded there, I think. Yeah, you can see one fairy left, and a blue potion. And I'm hurt again. And then I remember what I'm supposed to do. Took me long enough. And now I try to look for some hearts, and of course, don't get any right at first. you go. Also need to fill up on the masher. Yeah, it's a rupee for good measure. Now I need to use the sword to get through the store. And it's another staircase. So I think this is the really long one. Got some bigger monsters guarding the way. Of course, light arrows aren't only for Ganon, for Phantom Ganon. I almost feel like they may put these monsters here just so you can learn that. Although it doesn't really do you much good at this point in the game. Since I think there aren't really many of them left to fight. Except these ones. And it's gone. And they even give you magic and arrows, right? To make it really convenient. So let's get rid of them the cheap way. Is there even any music anymore? Barely. Maybe some wind. Ganon's stereotypical organ is gone. Yeah, actually, I think this door is actually closed until you beat all of those guys, which just sort of makes it even more like they want you to use the light arrows just to make it easy. Oh, and there's a fairy. So, I still think that fairies are okay. You know, I only have 2 fairies now. You know, I already have a blue potion. You know, I don't think a 3-heart run means, like, oh, you only get 3 health no matter what, you can't heal or anything. I mean, that would be really annoying. That would be like Skyward Sword, hard mode, where they don't let you have recovery hearts. But then, of course, I think you also start with, like, 5 hearts in that game. Anyway, back to the exciting story. We see Zelda. And Ganon. Dwarf. Kind of a boring dream, don't you think? I don't know about you guys, but my dreams are quite more exciting than oceans. Oceans.
Huh.
Oh no! The big secret. It really is kind of true, though, if you think about it. I mean, obviously, they're sort of helping Link get the Master Sword back, but... Probably the weirdest boss in the game. Most unexpected. Puppet Ganon. And also probably one of the most annoying. Okay, got some extra ones there. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, you can hit the, his tail, which is not on screen. Oh. How are you expected to hit that realistically? You're not a speedrunner who spends hours and hours. You've seen that before, what they do. They can just shoot that thing out of the air. It's pretty crazy. Saves you a lot of time, of course. Yeah, if you don't have good aim, this boss can be very bothersome. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's sort of just gotta go on, wait. Hit the wires, break the strings, limbs and tail fall down. Use the bats to refill. Oh, it's right in my face too. Got it that time. So now it's dead. Hooray. We can move on. Or can we? Spider Pig. Ganon. The tail is all around the other side. There's all these bats that keep getting in the way. You're supposed to focus on the reflection. not bad music here, to say the least. Never really paid attention to the music here before that much. Spider's not a big deal. Certainly the easiest out of these forms. And then I go get hit. I miss. Okay, now we're done. Right? Nope. I do like this music though. The music for this guy is decently exciting. Certainly makes up for how annoying it is. But that was a pretty good hit. I think you can like use bombs to try to slow him down or something. I don't remember. Yeah, try to aim for that, which normally is not so easy. Especially with all those little guys running on top of you. Jeez. Staying near the wall is probably your best bet. He can still get you, but it's not as easy for him to. And I get hit again and again. Of course. You also may have noticed the pot there. Cool. I don't think I actually use it, but it's a shortcut. I got him again. I think we probably need to get him one more time, maybe. Getting way down by this spiny guys. Only one heart left also. I'm here looking for a source of hearts, but not having much luck. Oh, and magic. Ran out of magic. And have a heart. Oh. So one of my fairies. One left. Remember, the other forms had bats. For this guy, there don't seem to be any bats. Plain old arrows aren't gonna work. I don't have, like, magic healing stuff. Well, I suppose the blue potion might do that. I think I'm getting a little desperate here, trying to hit it with a boomerang. So I see all these things here still. Don't really drop much. Or do they? I don't know. Can't tell. But you do see up there, there's like torches that you could hookshot onto potentially. That was what I was trying to see if there were pots up there, I guess. Pretty sure you need to use light arrows on that though. On his tail. seems like it's probably some sort of failure of level design or boss design or something. Yeah. I guess here I decided to use my blue potion, which will heal my magic hand hearts. See if I can actually do something before he kills me. Do it past Kusabu. It's just spinning in circles. It's not looking good. Uh-oh. The last fairy? Seriously, what is this guy doing? Ridiculous. I almost made it. Yeah, locking onto it may not have been the best idea. Finally get him. Still haven't died, either. Though I have used quite a few fairies. But yeah, that was ridiculous, that last battle. Hero of Time Reborn, indeed. You still got Zelda. Okay. So now, no more items. Saving, of course. Okay. So. Time to progress. Some peace. Apparently you need to jump onto that. Of course, Ganon can fly. Link has to climb all the way up. Hope you're not afraid of heights. This is a pretty tall building. Whee. Yeah, Link is not happy with only having one heart. Obviously, apologize for the beeping, but yeah, here we go. Don't want to fall off. Last thing I want to do is die of fall damage or have to climb all the way up the rope again. Here's some pots finally. There we go. All healed up. Can't bend your head back far enough. So here's the other pot for the pot that was on the floor, I believe. So use some fire arrows to open that up. Oh, and fairy. Used up. Too bad. Wasted that fairy. Now I need to get over there. Not with the rope. Not with the rope. There isn't a rope place. To walk around. Use the hook shot. Hook shot. I don't know why you can hook shot the bottom of this platform. That's kind of seems like it'd be suicide. But anyway, the final confrontation. I hope you guys are glad that I'm not doing voice acting. I know sometimes it can be entertaining, but no. Not me. All three pieces of the Triforce nearly reunited. Foot away from a pretty nasty situation. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Evil bad guy getting ultimate power of the universe. Pieces of the Triforce. What are we gonna do? He's practically knocked out. Zelda's unconscious. Triforce. Able to grant the wish if he lays his hand upon it. Good or evil. He's gonna save the day. Yippee! The true hero of Hyrule, the king himself. I desire sequels. an hourglass. I'm sure you could make plenty of analogies as to Nintendo's plans for the Zelda series. Watching the way Hyrule. So. And thus the gods have listened. Erudin and Fairbar. Flooding Hyrule permanently. This is what is known as the Way. All of those. Just get a new alarm clock. Ganon's mad. He's not happy. But we did to him. Some epic music as well. Remember, I don't have any health recovery items. I don't even think there's any other way to recover health. And the first true death. The very final battle. How disappointing is that? The entire game getting the game over on the final battle. And now I'm back here. Okay. 4 fairies. Back up here. Now let's finish him for good. So yeah, it was disappointing losing there and the game over. Hoping I'd be able to avoid it for the whole game. Ganon here, his last Ganon. Pretty good damage on his attacks. Full heart of damage. Also sort of coupled with the fact that I didn't really remember exactly how to fight him best, so I got hit a bunch of times. And I'm pretty sure you can actually, like, attack through your shield, too, which got me in there. Very dead. That's pretty fast. The wind. I like how the sword and the cape and stuff also turn to stone. Apparently they were also evil. Where was he during this whole battle? You don't think he would have been able to help? If he can turn into a boat, he probably has other magical powers. And maybe even turning into a boat would have helped. Who knows? And he represents the stereotypical gamer who's clinging to the past Zelda games. He wants Hyrule to come back, but he knows he can't do that. He knows Nintendo must move on and make new games. New Zelda games and new worlds. Let us kids must move on to new lands. There will be hope for us. These new games will be enjoyable. Also an interesting remix song that's playing in the background. It's like a pretty old Zelda tune. And thus, Hyrule is submerged forever. And Link and Zelda become bubble buddies. And apparently he has gills. Never to be seen again. And Tetra lost all her fancy Zelda clothes. Some reason. Oh, look who it is. It's all of our friends that we made over the whole adventure that you didn't get to see in this video. Because I only recorded the end. But of course, if you haven't played this game, you gotta play this game on your own. It's something you should really experience as a Zelda fan, Nintendo fan, video game fan. So, I think I'm going to leave off with the credits. And there is stuff after the credits that you should be able to watch, I think. So, I hope you enjoyed this, not so quick video, but it's video that, deciding to commentate with my voice rather than some text. Hope you still found it enjoyable and were impressed with my extreme Zelda skills, of course. So, hope you enjoyed. Tune in for some videos possibly in the foreseeable future. Goodbye.